So, word on the street, Michael. I hear you've retired.
See, if I had £1 for every time somebody has said that to me over the last couple of days, I can tell you now, Dave, I wouldn't be standing in Glenavon on a wet Tuesday night. I'd be on a beach. I'd be like Barbados or somewhere like that there.
Costa del Port Rush.
Costa del Port Rush, which sounds very good. Well, I suppose the only thing is, Dave, now the shackles are off, I can sort of, say what I want a wee bit.
Get your Freddie Mercury on.
And I have a lot that I want to say. The football at the minute is and our new kit, my goodness me. And do you know what? On a new lawnmower. But he has got a lovely beard.
He does.
Yeah.
That is very true. Well,
and I have to say something else now that's absolutely outrageous.
20 minutes later.
Annoyed?
I don't know.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Mourneview Monthly.
All the latest news and goals from our November fixtures. Captain's log, James Singleton tells us about his return to action. Meet our new head of medical, Chris Lockhart, and Christmas charity chat ahead of our festive fixture with Mourneview.
Hello and welcome to Steinmore Park. We've taken the Mourneview Monthly on tour, only really because we ran out of time. I'm Michael Scott, the semi-retired Michael Scott.
And I'm the not-so-retired Dave Watt. Welcome.
Hello, welcome along. We are going to get straight into it and talk about the news. We were going to talk about Glenavon's poor start to the season, but Glenavon have just won a football match, so...
surprise. Although, to be fair, the thing about it is, we sort of... it's 4 wins, 2 against Dungannon, 2 against Warren Point.
Dave, don't be negative.
Look, they're games we should be winning, absolutely. But...
I think what impressed me tonight was our style of football was really, really good.
Yeah. Windy night, you kind of have to keep the ball on the ground, but I think it's certainly... At one point, I think I counted about 10 passes in a row, and I'm not sure if they've done that for a while.
Yeah. We've done well, and although, mind you, timely 3 points considering the run of games we have coming up.
Yes, our Christmas period has not been dealt too kindly to us.
No.
I think we're Crusaders twice, Glentoran and Cliftonville on New Year's Day, and then obviously the away to Eole Portadown. Just
a shame we didn't have a performance like that on Saturday ahead of Gary's night at the races.
Yeah, I think Linfield. Well, we all know when Linfield turn up, there can be any team in this league, and unlike some previous performances at Mourneview where they've been found wanting and we've been well in our game, they were professional. You could see that the full-time training is starting to really pay off. The movement was brilliant. I thought Manzinga was quite good. Kirk Miller is Kirk Miller, and his delivery's unbelievable, But yeah.
Let's talk about some of the other stuff that's been going on behind the scenes. Why don't we start off with ourselves, because obviously I stood down for my role.
Tell us a little bit about that, Michael. What's happened there?
No, basically work commitments. Just haven't really got time anymore. My job situation's changed ever so slightly, and it's just impossible to do everything at once. But I'm still going to be helping out. Obviously, I'm still doing this.
That's it.
I'm very keen to help out where I can. Keep you right. But it's tough decision what had to be done. But Ben stepped up. He's into the role now. So
effectively the output and that sort of thing hasn't really changed. What you're saying?
No, nothing changes. It's just apart from me, I step back. But one thing we have already. I stay away because I'm still part of the media team, of course. Get to keep the coat, which is class.
That's the only reason why you're sticking about, isn't it?
Absolutely. One of the things we are looking at changing about the place is the music, and we've been trying to get supporters input on that.
We certainly have. I mean, we put a Google form out there via social media, and we've had a lot of responses. Most of them positive in the relation to the feedback. Some people have asked for a few interesting choices. Some people have asked for no music, but most people have asked for a few interesting choices. Yes, it's all part of the atmosphere. The players have certainly, over the while, have asked for some of their choices to be considered. We spoke to a few of the board members who had a few interesting choices. Here's looking at you, Lee, with your Stone Roses obsession. And yeah, no, it certainly it helps build the match day atmosphere. Something probably we haven't really paid much attention to, in the sense that
a lot of people often wonder, what's going on behind the scenes and about changes and stuff like that. But I think there are positive changes trying to happen behind the scenes. One of the other things that's also changed, Dave, on Saturday was the lottery, which finally got off the ground.
Finally, yes, we had 3 £50 winners. Jackpot still up for grabs. Effectively, we try to modernise a wee bit where it's a bit easier for people to actually buy tickets rather than having to come to the ground or buy them off people in a physical paper form. So you can actually access that. Best way to do that is through the website, and we'll probably put a link out on social media. So keep an eye out for that as well, about how you can get involved.
All right, Dave, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about, is there?
No, this stage.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Well, as we sort of alluded to there, November hasn't really been the kindest of months, but there's still been plenty of goals. So here are all of November's goals.
Back in the summer, we bid farewell to long-time serving physio Lynn Carpenter and welcomed our new head of medical, Chris Lockhart. I caught up with him to find out a bit more about his role at the club and find out how he's settling in. Here's a chat with Chris. Welcome, Chris. You've been a very busy man, so we've only finally got catching up with you now. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Christopher Lockhart. The new head of medical here at Glenavon Football Club. So I've taken over from Lynn Carpenter, who stepped down there over the summer. Bit of background information about me. I've had 3.5 seasons over the water, so I had 2 seasons with Stoke City, a season with Notts County, and a spell with Sheffield United as well, on top of 5.5 years with our Middlesbrough rivals, Portadown FC. I moved over then in July.
So you came home, some would say. You're a Lurgan man originally?
Yeah, I am a Lurgan man originally. So it's very handy getting to work in the afternoons, shall we say.
Great stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing then since you came in.
Yeah, so since I came in then, I inherited Mark Stafford's rehab then. So Mark he undergone surgery at the end of last season then with Linfield, and then I took over his rehab then week 4 post-op, carried him through then till we completed the rehab, and now it's great to see that he's a key member then of the starting team.
And obviously you've got a bit of help with Lauren as well. Tell us a bit about how that came about.
Yeah, so I'm sure Gary will let you know then how it all came about then with Lauren. But since she's come in, she's been absolutely fantastic. She's been an integral part of the medical department. To be honest, I'd be lost without her now. So yeah, she's been absolutely brilliant.
And we hope to have a chat with Chris's assistant, Lauren Brown, very, very soon. We'll bring that to you in a future edition of the Mourneview Monthly. Now, one man who's back in the Glenavon side after a bit of a layoff is club captain James Singleton. And after Tuesday night's game against Dungannon Swifts, I caught up with him to hear he's settling back into the side and what he thought of his performance on the night. Considering the team news that came out yesterday, there were a few surprises. Never saw your name on the team sheet, James. Were you happy how it went?
Yeah, delighted, Michael. Listen, I'm happy to be back and getting in the squad to start off with. I didn't even know I was going to play. We had a couple of injuries. Daughter was a bit of a doubt, and Gaz said to me, don't play for the reserves. I was supposed to play for the reserves last night, and he phoned me yesterday saying not to. You're in the squad for the game tonight. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting to start, to be honest with you. And then obviously Callum pulled out of the squad, and then I slotted in. So delighted with a win, delighted with the 3 points, but most importantly is I'm just happy to be back and back involved again.
And a clean sheet as well.
Clean sheet as well. We haven't had too many this season, and I thought Gaz got the tactics spot on the night. I thought playing the 4-4-2 high press really worked at the start. We got a goal, and then he made a couple of substitutions and went there like a 4-3-3 into a 4-5-1, and I thought we looked really solid. I don't think Dungannon caused us any issues at all. Maybe a couple of cross balls, that was it. And then we hit them on the counter at the end, and Peter with a great finish. So I thought it was a good performance from us tonight.
I was going to say, it was a bit more like us in terms of how we like to play sometimes.
Yeah, I think we haven't been playing enough football recently. I've had a good view of watching, week in, week out, and I just think boys maybe have been a wee bit nervous, and it's just because results weren't going the way we wanted them. Maybe boys were getting nervous, but Gaz and Maggers had a chat with us before the game and said, relax and be composed on the ball and try and pass it, and I think we've done that well tonight. And you don't always have to play that forward pass. You can go back and recycle it and go out the other side, and I think we've done that quite well. And yeah, I'm just delighted with the 3 points.
Well, it's a big 3 points, I suppose, as well, considering the games we have coming up as well.
Yeah, it's a tough run. Every game's hard. Like tonight was a difficult match. Dungannon moved the ball really well. They've got some really good quality players in their team, and they've got boys that like to run at you, especially the wee winger. I thought he was really good. The boy on the left hand side, he's impressive. So yeah, we'll play here Crusaders on Saturday, and they got to win tonight, so it'll be a good battle, and hopefully we can get our tactics spot on again and go out and put in another good performance.
How are you feeling now after getting 90 minutes under your belt?
Well, after about 65 there, I was dead on my feet, to be honest with you. But no, just delighted. To be fair, changing the shape probably helped me a good bit, not having to, push as high up the pitch or press as much. We were able to sort of keep a flat five in midfield and just shuffle across, and that helps boys. It means they're not having to do them extra yards, and just delighted. The more minutes I can get, the more the quicker I'll be back to full fitness.
As we approach the season of goodwill, it means one thing in the local calendar, and that's Derby Day on Boxing Day. We all love a good win against Portadown, but they did approach us. Obviously, it's away this year. They did approach us and say that they are doing a bucket collection, and this year they've chosen the local charity Aspire. And I caught up with Mark Knox, who is the director of Aspire. He also happens to be a Glenavon fan. We had a good chat about his Glenavon memories, and I found out a little bit more about what Aspire do in the local community. So Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a Lurgan man originally.
Mm-hmm. So I'm Mark, as you've already said, originally from Lurgan. As you've already said, you've covered such a grand sweep there. Currently live in Craigavon. I have a 4-month-old baby called Sadie, and she is the best thing to happen to me since, I don't know, we won the Irish Cup. That's really, and I work for Aspire.
Brilliant. And married to
Heather. Did I leave that out?
You did.
She'd never forgive me.
Sorry, Heather.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us this, and obviously you're wearing what year's that Glenavon shirt from?
It's just 99, I think.
So that would have been Roy Walker and whose guys?
This is pre-me being any way interested in Glenavon, really.
I was going to say it's a good retro shirt though.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us this then, what got you into Glenavon?
So I came late. I'm talking early 20s to Glenavon. So I actually have a memory of this shirt. My friend's brother had it on his ceiling in his room.
Right.
And I remember asking about it, and that was the first time I even heard about local football, because I just grew up knowing Premier League. And I was like, oh wow. And then went on a few random trips to Glenavon matches with like youth groups and stuff growing up. And then actually when I was in my early 20s, I moved to Mourneview, and then went, do you know what, I'm going to go along, and proper got the bug for Glenavon. I came late, but I've came often.
That's good. So what would be your favourite Glenavon memory then?
Favourite Glenavon memory would probably be the Irish Cup final. Was it 2016? Because it was just such a day. And at that point, I lived in Mourneview, and going to the game was brilliant. Beating Linfield was brilliant. But then we had our own Irish Cup party at my house, which was proper on Glenavon Crescent. And the best thing was all the players walking by to go to the shops, to go to the shop, and we called them in to my house. And there's some great photos of me, Chris Lindsay eating my Chinese, holding my Gary Hamilton calendar that somebody had made me for Christmas. And even now, when I see some of the players, I'm like, hey, came to my house. So the whole day, and just the fact that it's the whole event for the town, is probably my highlight.
Yeah, I think certainly the 2014 was more of an unexpected journey to get that far, but there's a lot more hype around the 2016. I thought it was
the semi-final was also even possibly better than the final for atmosphere and just for like coming back.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was one of the best nights of my whole life.
We kept probably Kevin Braniff's
Kevin
best game in the Glenavon shirt.
Yes, pretty sure I had him in my house as well.
Kev loves a party.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so you mentioned there obviously you work for Aspire. Tell us a little bit about what got you into that and what Aspire does.
Yes, so I was doing a lot of youth work, and then I decided on a whim to train to become a teacher. I know it was loads of people's dreams. I feel bad. It was never my dream, and even as I was doing the training, it was not my dream. But while I was training to become a teacher, I learned about the education attainment gap, which is on the news a bit now, but wasn't then, which is basically the biggest indicator as to whether someone will achieve or not achieve in education, is whether they're born into a well-off family or not. So I was like, somebody should do something about this, but probably not me. I then finished my PGCE teaching qualification and went on and worked for a charity. Couldn't get the idea out of my head. Me being an arrogant person, 6 months into working for a charity, decided, I know all there is to know about charities now, I can now set one up. So decided to use my teaching background, my experience of youth work and my knowledge of charity to set up a youth work charity helping to tackle the education attainment gap. So we do that through homework clubs. So we run homework clubs that sound boring but are a lot of fun. We are in every high school in Lurgan, Portadown and Craigavon apart from the two grammars. And we are in 4 primary schools now as well. So we run the homework clubs there. And then on top of that, we run an academy where we do like skills training. So whether there's like youth work where they get qualifications, barista skills where they learn to make cappuccinos, art, skateboarding, all sorts of things like that. And then we also run a cross-community camp program where we take these young people and give them an experience. And everything we do is free. And so the experience is getting away and enjoying a camp like I would have enjoyed growing up. But also doing that cross-community aspect. So Aspire, kind of holistic approach to education and working alongside schools to help young people achieve.
Brilliant. And you also sell some interesting merchandise.
We do. We initially we sold socks. I got really into socks. It's just a strange thing to get into. And I went to America, me and my wife, and I just kept buying loads of like tube socks. And they were hard to come by back then. I know like they're a thing everybody wears now. And then we started making Aspire socks, just to raise a bit of extra money, and that became like quite successful. And we ended up then also producing all sorts of hoodies, sweaters, and Vicky, who works for us, our primary school coordinator, wrote a book as well for children called Pete the Pigeon, set at Christmas, so timely at the minute, and it kind of explains poverty and inequality in a way that children understand. So we sell all sorts of merch on our website.
Brilliant. And I believe you're also good friends with Pamela Valentine.
Yes, we've ran a few Band-Aid events. So Pammy Ban, as I call her, she's been she was on both of them. So we ran like Band-Aid. I'm sure you know what Band-Aid is. We ran a few Band-Aid where we covered songs, got some local celebrities. The year that Stormont had collapsed, the only thing that the DUP and Sinn Féin did together was join forces to sing All I Want for Christmas Is You for Aspire, and that got far less positivity than I had possibly expected. Turns out people don't like their non-working politicians to go singing. But then since then we've also started covering songs, doing we did a choir last year, obviously during lockdown, online, and then we actually have a Christmas single coming out this year as well.
Cool. What can you tell us about that?
I can tell you it's an absolute banger. I can tell you the song is Stay Another Day, the E17 classic, which was Christmas #1 when I was 4, so full memories. And it's all sorts of volunteers and staff and people who are just involved in Aspire came together. So it is released in the start of December, and just a video, and then you can donate money to Aspire if you enjoy our singing.
Excellent. So obviously part of the reason why we're doing this, we were contacted by our friends in West Glenavon, where unfortunately we are now, and believe that their Boxing Day collection next year, the bucket collection, is going to be donated to this bar.
Yes. Which is amazing. We were interested in, like, obviously because I'm a Irish League fan, as are some of the other staff members, we were interested in doing a collection, and we had contacted Portadown because here we are sitting in Portadown, and they very kindly give us the Boxing Day match, which was amazing because it's going to be a big crowd, but it's also amazing because I was going to be there anyway, and I don't have to miss a Glenavon game to go over to Portadown.
That's fortunate.
Great. So on Boxing Day, hopefully you're all coming anyway. So make sure you get out to Portadown, empty your pockets, give us all the money that you possibly have. Save a wee bit for maybe a burger and chips, I don't know, but the rest of your money, put it in our buckets. I'll hopefully be standing at the entrance for Glenavon fans and see some friendly faces. So smile, put your hand in your pocket, and give me all your money, please.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Mark.
Thank you.
So, Dave, another Mourneview monthly comes to an end on a happy note for once after a fine performance.
Yes, it certainly beats the feeling of the last one we did after a match against Hanover.
Yeah.
Less said about that the better, but the more said about the performance tonight, certainly if we can play a bit more like that, I think it suits the players that we have and gives us a bit of optimism going into a really tough run of fixtures.
I was just about to say, because I'm just looking at the fixtures. We have Crusaders twice, Glentoran, Coleraine, Portadown on, well, not Boxing Day, the Monday, and Cliftonville then on New Year's Day. It's not exactly the kindest run of fixtures, but I suppose you can only play what the fixtures say.
Well, that's it.
You're going to get those run of fixtures.
To be honest, our home form probably hasn't been as good as it should have been, and we've been okay away from home, so having Boxing Day away might not be a bad thing.
Considering Portadown as well I don't want to say this too loud because I know I'm tempting fate by saying this. Portadown at the moment still haven't won a game at home.
Oh,
sorry.
That could be interesting.
I'm just saying.
No, like, as I say, our away form.
By the time we play Portadown, they might have won a game at home.
Well, this is true, but it is Portadown.
I know.
And unfortunately, in Middlesbrough football at the minute, there isn't too much to shout about.
Listen, somebody said in the radio the other day, I'm not claiming responsibility if we are scudded, right? Somebody else has said it, right? Yes, speaking of in and around Christmas, that's when our next Mourneview Monthly will be out, and it'll be a special edition of the Mourneview Monthly because we're going to have a feature-length chat with Gary Hamilton.
10 years in charge, it's been...
the heart of a lion.
Aye, certainly has. We'll find out a lot more about a few... behind-the-scenes stories, I'm sure, about what's happened over his years. We'll talk about him, some highs and lows, and get a bit of an insight into the inner workings
I'm really looking forward to that chat. It's always a good chat when you get sitting down with Gary for a length of time. Well, I think that's it, Dave.
I think we're pretty much done. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back again just before Christmas. But until then, thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much to our sponsors as well. And we'll see you later. All the best.